Welcome to the Red Shoe Realty podcast. As you know, this podcast and this brokerage are built for the agent so that you have the tools and the knowledge you need to be successful in this industry. And today I am so excited because I have my friend and classmate from this year's Texas Realtor Leadership Program, Jose Luis Garza. He is the team lead of Garza Realty Group with Styled Real Estate. He was also recently recognized by HAR's Young Professionals Network as one of the top 20 under 40. Jose Luis, thank you so much for being here with me.
Hey, Stacey, how are you? Thank you so much for inviting me to your beautiful podcast and introduce me to all your fans and friends here.
Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to have you. Your energy and your authenticity, I feel honored to be able to share that with a lot of people. And today's topic, oh my goodness, teams. Everybody wants to know about teams, what to do, how to do it. And so thank you so much for being willing to share what you're doing. We appreciate it so much.
No, thank you. Thank you. We have to change. I'm a big fan of changing the mentality in the industry and help each other out so we can all learn and grow from each other. You know, I might not have all the right answers or all the perfect answers, but at least I can share and give you what has worked for me and my perspective on things. And then I'm always here to help.
Yeah. And I love that about you. You're always ready to help. So that's awesome. So let's just jump right into it. So I think for anybody who's thinking about doing a team, the biggest question is, how do you know when is the right time to start a team?
Well, the right time, I believe is, well, I'll give you a small story of what I learned a couple of years ago before I was in real estate. I was in oil and gas before and making a fair amount of money. And I had a good mentor come to me one day and he found out that I was washing my cars and it was taking me about 3 hours to do that. Okay. And to send it off to somebody else, it would be like an hour and like $50. So if I would compare that to what I normally do in life, I was one of the most expensive car washes out there, So it's very hard, to decide. So there's not a right or wrong answer regarding when to start a team. It's the perfect moment is whenever you start seeing that, hey, I now have to leverage my time and my time with my family and have that balance to say, hey, you know what? Now it's time because, hey, I just hit a cap on time, family, balance, and I need help. And what can take me to that next level to grow and say, hey, from let's say 50 transactions to 60 transactions, what do I need to change so I can get to that next level?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what triggered me in my brain to say, now it's time. So for me in particular, it was at the moment when I said, hey, I'm working Monday through Monday. I don't stop. And I don't have enough time for my family and I need to find something out so I can take some leverage, okay? Yeah. So like I said, the perfect timing to answer your question is whenever you don't have enough time to have a good work-life balance.
Yeah, because there's only so much we can do. There's only so much production that we can handle as an individual. So
exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then take me into that. Like when you decided, okay, it's time, I got to do something. Who did you add and how did you decide to add people when you did?
So for me, I like to be outside. I like to be showing houses. I like to be meeting people and seeing what they're all about, different cultures, where you come from, some of them from the same United States, from California, Florida, Miami. So I like to know what your story is. I like that, For me, it's very hard to be calm in my house and looking at paperwork and making sure that everything is lined up. I really don't like that. But there's not a right answer, okay? Some people like to have that mentality of saying, I want control and I want to make sure that everything that I do, I'm doing it right and all the paperwork is correct, okay? So you choose what works for you. But for me, my first step was somebody that did the paperwork. that was in charge of my transaction coordination, making sure that all my time frames, my options, my earnest money was delivered, that my inspector was properly emailed out and make sure that they were going to be on time. I did not want to spend 1 hour making sure that he's answering my phone. No, I wanted to be outside showing 3-4 clients in one day instead of calling. Okay. So for me, it was a lot better to hire my transaction coordinator. It was more feasible money-wise. It was more feasible because I consider my expertise more dealing with people. I'm a very strong people person. So that's what I did. But there's no wrong answer. If you like to do paperwork, hey, maybe that person may be your next buyer's agent.
Yeah.
Or at least somebody to open the door for you, for some of your clients, if you cannot make it across town in the next hour. Okay, so a buyer's agent works. For me, it was more a transaction coordinator. I work with a lot of passion. I really like it. And not a lot of people like that from real estate, meeting people and showing houses. Yeah. So that's that's how I did that.
That makes a lot of sense, because then you still get to function in your strength and what you enjoy doing. And then someone else gets to come in and do the parts that you don't necessarily care for.
Yes, and make sure that is that person's strength, and there's there's tests that you can check the profile of the person, see their attitude, see what they're doing. In my case, I use a lot a test that's called the DISC profile, and that's what helps me out. Okay, and I check that person out. Okay, you want to show houses, but you're a very detail-oriented person. Great, but I think that maybe because of your personality, it suits you better being on this place. I'm not saying that you cannot sell a house if you're not a certain personality. Right. I'm just saying certain things suit you best and you're more comfortable doing.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Okay, cool. So you added a TC first. Yes. And then what was next for you?
So the next step was, so my TC made me grow approximately 25%. No, sorry. About 35%. Okay. Just by adding a TC. Nice. So it covered her cost plus up. And that's what I wanted. And not only that, my 2 years in real estate, I had no vacation. Once I added my transaction coordinator, it gave me a lot more time. And I kept growing in my business. Okay. So after I started getting that plateau again, having clients where I could not give them the best quality service that I thought that one of my clients deserved.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when I decided to add a buyer's agent. Okay. I decided to add a buyer's agent because of that same reason. I said, okay, I like to take care of people. I think everybody deserves the full attention to one of the biggest purchases of their lives. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was very important to say, I need you to be 100% taken care of.
Yeah.
So I added a buyer's agent because in the city of Houston, because that's where we're from, to go from point A to point B is about an hour. Okay, anywhere you go is 45 minutes to an hour. Pretty much. It's very hard to be in 3 different places at once, So I decided to get a buyer's agent after that. And by adding a buyer's agent, it made me grow about 20-25%.
Nice. Okay. So, and I've met your buyer's agent, and she is so awesome. And so I want to ask you this question. When you are adding people, how do you choose? How do you decide who to add to your team?
So again, for everybody is different, but for me, my image, my culture, my way of seeing things is very important because I always like to give back. And I need to know that that person that's joining my team understands my core values. My core values are work with passion. Do what you love. Don't get up and show a house and if you don't even want to go. Passion has to drive you to do things. Okay. What your drive is, whatever your drive is, make that in a happy way. Okay. That you're going to get up and show these people a house because you want to, because you're happy doing it. Yeah. Don't go with a bad attitude because, again, they're happy just by shopping. Who is not happy by going to the mall and buying some brand new shoes and can't wait to run in them, right? Because you know that, like, we're little kids, we can run faster with some brand new shoes, right? So make that experience better. So one of the things is my core values is passion, being humble, being empathetic, and willing to help people out. So if the people that are joining my team have this, let's try to make this happen. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. That's alignment right there.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and you kind of touched on this, but I want to ask you, as the leader, what is the culture that you're trying to create in your team?
Helping people out, giving back. Let's give back to these people. Okay. Let's give back. And it doesn't have to be money or it doesn't have to be a gift. Just giving part of your time in a happy way, in a good way, giving back to them in a way that they're going to be so appreciative that you were there for them doing one of these most important transactions. Okay. So something like that I like to give back all the time and tell my team, because I have now became a team lead. I'm not a manager. If that's your mentality in an industry that is commission-based, in an industry that everybody's an independent contractor, well, what are you going to give them? Well, you're giving them your knowledge, your experience, your energy, your passion, so they can see it the same way you see it, and they can give back as well to their clients, so we can all grow. It's not about me. It's about us as a team. So if you change that mindset that's saying, hey, I have to reach these goals. Hey, no, it's we have to meet these goals. So if I go a step up, you're going to go a step up with me. Mm-hmm. And I tell my team, I'm not ahead of you and I'm not going to be behind you. We're going to go walk side by side and we're going to make things happen. Everybody according to your strength and experience. Yeah. Okay. But we're going to walk side by side. Okay. So we have to give back. We have to be willing to cooperate. Hey, cooperate with the agent that's on the other side of the transaction. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, we have the same goal.
We have the same goal to get your buyer or seller to the closing table and my buyer to the closing table and have the best experience possible. Yeah. So let's make this thing easy, okay? And that also helps you out. You never know. You might be talking on the other line with your next buyer's agent.
Yeah, for real. That's true. Good point.
Right? So be nice. Be careful. It might be that next person that maybe you, Stacey, will add to your brokerage because she has the experience, but she just needs that extra help to put her life together. And there you go, Stacey. You became that team leader.
Yeah, that's true. That's a really good point. Mm-hmm. I love that about you, and I know you personally, so I know this is how this man really does business. And the other thing I love that you said is that this is not cookie cutter.
No.
There are a lot of people that will say, if you're going to start a team, well, this is how you have to do it, but I love what you say, do what you need, recognize your own strength and pull someone in that can handle something that maybe you don't enjoy or maybe is a weakness. So I love that approach.
I truly think that, everybody can run their business. What is success? Stacey, for me, maybe success is selling, 100 transactions. And for somebody else, it's saying 1 million. For me, maybe success is saying, hey, I can bring enough money to the table or enough food in the table for my wife and balance it out so we can have 2-3 vacations a year. You know, maybe that's success for me. So you have to, as a leader, as a business owner, because this is your business, say, hey, for me, this is being successful, having this work-life balance. I know a lot of agents that they're like, hey, man, I just love the fact that I can go have lunch with my son and my daughter at school at 11 o'clock and nobody tells me nothing. And then I'll go show houses at 6 o'clock whenever my husband comes home.
Yeah.
And guess what? That is success.
Yeah.
That is being a true leader in your community. You know, I truly believe that. I truly believe it. What is called being that leader, being that it doesn't matter if you have a team or not. Just being a leader itself is knowing exactly what you want and where you're going.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. Well, I am so appreciative. Thank you so much for sharing what you're doing and how it's going. And if you're tuning in, I hope that this helps you. And if you would like to reach out to Jose Luis, I'll have his information for you so you can connect with him. And Jose Luis, thank you again so much.
One last thing.
Okay.
I just finished reading a book. I truly believe it. And no, I'm not selling the book. I'm not getting anything out of it, but I saw this book, you know, I truly recommend it. It's called The Go-Giver. You know, someone gave it to me. I read it and I'm giving back to everybody. I mean, to some of my team members, I gave it to my team members so they can grow as well. It's called The Go-Giver. You know, it's a tremendous book and it teaches you that if you give back to your team, if you give back to your clients, if you give back to your community, the universe is going to give back to you. So that's why let's change that mentality of saying, hey, this is my business and I don't want nobody to know what's going on. Hey, let's be that person, that true leader that shares things so we can all grow in this very competitive market and very competitive industry.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that so much. That just encapsulated Red Shoe and me. And that's why I love you so much. So thank you so much, Jose Luis.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I hope this helps everybody out. And if you, like Stacey said, if y'all need any help or anything, and if I can, I will. You know, I mean, I do have a beautiful family and I am working very hard to make the best out of it. So props to everybody. Good luck to everybody. And again, I'm always here to help and thank you.
Thank you, Jose Luis. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in and we'll see you next time.